All right, guys. I just want to bring you in here real quick. This is our first time trying to stream this stuff. Just kind of bring you guys all into this. This is kind of our first time too. It's gonna get kind of really rough here at the very beginning, and we'll slowly kind of get into it and everything like that. Right now, DM's going over just basic story stuff while I was trying to get the stream going. So we're gonna jump straight in here. Uh, no warning or anything like that, and just get this going and see how it goes.
I of old age, which doesn't matter for an elf really, anyways. But you're once soulbound, you are forever a champion of order. You are, you fight the forces that would undermine civilization or the order in its entirety.
Being requested to, because I guess trying to understand, excuse me, understanding the chaos fight and stuff was not part of the mortal realm, right?
Oh no, that was part of the mortal realm.
Okay.
The Age of Chaos, when the Pantheon of Order fractured, that's when Chaos made their move. Archaon, the Ever Chosen, marshaled and unified the forces of Chaos, marched onto the mortal realms, and basically kicked Order's teeth.
Okay.
Because the Pantheon fractured, because there was no threat. They unified and created order, built civilizations. Even the orc god of destruction, Gorka Morka, aided in this, but he grew furious with the endless politicking and inaction, and was like, fuck you all, I'm going my way.
I'm sorry, that name was just cracked me up. The Gorka Morka.
That's the god's name, Gorka Morka. And when he splits in two, when the god splits in two, you got Gork and you got Mork.
I just imagine a slime or something that just.
I would have asked for something in return, because I'm guessing, since this is session 0, that the mortal plane isn't I've been reading in the book, and the mortal realm is not necessarily exactly a super safe place in the first place.
No, now the Age of Sigmar has dawned after the Age of Chaos. Sigmar actually retreated along with Grungi to Azerheim, where in secret, through dealings with Teclis and the other elven gods, he used the gift that Teclis gave to him to obscure Chaos and all other forces to be able to look on Azerheim. It pissed off Teclis because he created these devices to further education and knowledge of the mortal races. But Sigmar's like, nah, I'm going to use this to obscure what I'm doing, and created the Stormcast Eternal. Then Sigmar's Tempest washed over the realms, beating back the forces of Chaos, claiming realm gates, recreating civilizations, and whatnot. So, I mean, it's starting to get cleared out. There are beacons of, light within, the perilous dark that has consumed the realms. So, yeah, it's not exactly a safe world. Traveling from one city to the next is foolhardy at best. And if you are traveling, travel with mercenaries or have a means of protecting yourself.
Okay.
Means of protecting yourself.
Okay, then yeah, I definitely would have asked for something in return.
What would that be? Because to go over what it means to be soulbound, it is there is legends that there's ways to get out of being soulbound. Either the gods dismiss you because you achieved something, or you have fell to the forces of chaos, like becoming one of the champions of chaos, and they're like, nah, this ain't gonna fly. So when you become soulbound, you basically live until you die, which I know that's paradoxical, but you don't die of old age. Um, you do not or you're not fertile. You can't bear offspring or produce offspring. And you are on a quest of, battling the forces that contend against the Alliance Order. So that is, as Steve calls you are forevermore, after becoming soulbound, a soldier against chaos, destruction, and death. Your moments of reprieve are far in between. You're lucky if you get maybe a week to a couple weeks to yourself before you are called to duty once more. Battle the enemies of war.
I guess, considering we're starting out essentially level 1.
Now you got 10 bonus XP thanks to Josh and Charlie for the
Yep.
episode, though. So you're
Well,
realistically about level 5 if you're looking at D&D terms.
Okay,
We
because
got 10?
Yep. Charlie built the roll for telling us if we have successes and stuff.
Oh, okay, so we got another 4.
Hey, Charlie figured it out, though.
I guess only thing I could think of, and it would be money for spending, but really, I bought all the gear I have, so money wouldn't really be needed for my character.
I'm sorry, I just found that kind of funny. After Quest, you're no longer allowed to bear children, and you're going to be worked like a dog for the rest of your life. What do you want in exchange for this? A little spending money would be nice.
So I guess I don't.
Please
Not knowing
tell
the
me that's
system
what
well,
you
I
do.
don't.
Just a little spending money. Just a little spending money. Not like a monthly teeth or anything like that. Just a little spending money.
So
Well, you can be creative here. I believe your long-term goal is, and again, and I'm a fan of picking long-term goals that can be repeated. Dan and I have become very used to creating goals like that from like Chronicles of Darkness and whatnot, having repeater quests, if it makes logical sense. I know you were talking to me about being like taming and capturing truly dangerous beasts.
Mm-hmm.
Moths, maw crushers, drakes, so forth, so on.
Yeah.
So, you can tie, your bargain into that if you want to. But the group at large can kind of help you here too. That's why we're having session 0, is helping people figure out did you do this out of complete servitude, or did you, bargain for becoming soulbound?
Question. Couple questions. From my angle then. You say this is kind of like Stargate, a mix between high fantasy and Stargate, correct?
Yes, sir.
So are there a bunch of unclaimed worlds?
Theoretically, yes. Each realm is almost infinite in size. If you were to stand in a center of one of the realms, it would take you anywhere between 10 to 100 lifetimes to reach the edge of the realm. Continuous travel by the fastest means.
So is it just a few realms, or are there countless realms? Because how much is this like Stargate, and how much of this is just like Asgard lore?
Okay, so you have 8 main realms, which are reflective of the 8 winds of magic, 8 schools of magic, however you want to look at it. Then you have the realm of chaos. Then you have the realm in between of light and shadow. That is where Slanesh is imprisoned, one of the chaos gods. Um, Also, the devourer of elven souls and whatnot. It was technically the other three elven deities that trapped Slanesh and basically forced him to regurgitate the souls of the elven people that he, bloated himself upon. And then you got various subrealms, and then literally in the book they say there is near infinite realms and whatnot, but you got your eight, technically 9 primary realms, and then you got the sub realms that spawned from. And to get to each of the realms, you use the various realm gates to travel. Use the realm gates, and that's where the to me it feels very Stargate-esque, especially with more kind of, it's not like straight up future tech, but because of the dwarves and whatnot advancing steam tech and technology, it has that Stargate feel. How they have floating cities and mech suits and whatnot, and then you use the realm gates to traverse, and there are hidden realm gates, and there are like one of these realms is called 8 Point. It used to be called All Point, but Archaon, the Ever Chosen, kind of claimed, went there, conquered it, corrupted it with chaos, and basically 8 Point can traverse you theoretically anywhere. It's like the main hub, or like Sigil from D&D, the Realm of Doors. That's basically what 8 Point is. So yeah,
does one Stargate link to one realm, or does a Stargate can it link to theoretically any realm, as long as you have the appropriate key or coordinates?
Depends on the realm gate. Some realm gates function like that, where they can traverse to any realm, while others are solely connected to a fixed point. Like smaller realm gates within, we'll use the Fire Realm, Quesh, or however the hell you say it. I'll have these names down. Kane, stay down here, buddy. I'll have these names down before session 1, damn it. So you got your main primary realm gate that can transport you to the various different realms, and then you have smaller realm gates that will literally take you from point A to point Z on that realm, and you just traverse like worlds across to get to that point. So just to answer your question, it really depends on the gate in question.
Got it.
Any other questions, buddy?
Not right at this moment.
All right. So going back to you, Rambo, and the group can help you with this. What was the price paid or continuous price paid for your service into this? Again, you don't have to be like a devout follower of the Everqueen. That you chose that as your god who actually brought you into the soul binding. Doesn't mean you have to be a devout worshiper or anything. She just went with you because you were one of the few that actually stayed during the Age of Chaos and fought and tried to, push back the tide of, war and things like that. So, anything in mind? Or do you just want a little pocket change? Because that's just hilarious.
As funny as it is, it'd be.
I just want some spending money. I need some bubble gum.
Hey, because you'll need it because bubblegum flavor doesn't last long, so you'd be chewing quite a bit if you want the flavor.
Fair.
He wants the bubblegum so he can kick ass and chew bubblegum.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
all out of bubblegum.
I'm hurt by that statement. But anyways, I have an idea for a character, but I want to hear more about Charlie's character before I commit.
So
I'm debating, Derek, if one be when I have the appropriate skills that I am gifted a Magdroth. Would that be something that'd be feasible, or
So what I would do here is basically you would be gifted with an egg of a Megadroth, and it would grow and whatnot and hatch through play.
okay?
And this would be because this is a soul binding and not wanting to screw you over, it'd be one of the more prestigious breeds of Megmadroths.
Okay.
So, and then with the Everqueen's with the Everqueen's blessing, because she is life incarnate, pretty much. So long as you live, if your Megmadroth is to perish, it basically would return to life. A minor reforging like the Soul Cast, it's a little easier because it's a beast and not a sentient, uh,
You
or
won't have the
immortal.
Laura Bailey problem. So, all right, we got you. So you got a very rare breed of Megmadroth, and if it is to perish in battle, basically what you would do is you would spend a special downtime endeavor to basically
All right.
endeavors take a week to do. So basically, you get a week downtime. If your Magmadroth dies, that endeavor to reform it and whatnot. All right. So Charlie, Dan was he has a couple ideas in mind, but he really wants to hear yours, so he can maybe see it off. So we'll go with you next. Out of everybody, because I worked with you personally to build your character, you have a very fleshed out idea. So tell everybody what they would read.
Well, Malarius is a full-plated Stormcast Eternal. Doesn't really talk. Come to talk to him, you'll find in his most monotone, logical sense that this is his fifth lifetime. His fifth time being reforged. You would notice a few, especially in battle, they come out more when he's not in control of his emotions or anything. Differences between him and newer Eternals, because he's been reforged so many times. He's gotten flaws. His main. Did we, Azadic, help me remember this? Did we focus more on the group helping me with the anvil, or is that basically mine, and they're just helping me get the treaties from the other realms?
The treaties was kind of like something you want to push your character towards. The anvil, fixing the flaws of the reforging process. That was your repeating long goal. Basically, each thing that you find out allows you to achieve your long-term goal, and you can take it multiple times. So that's where it goes to. Sigmar was like, I will help you, but in turn, you must help one of mine. And his long-term goal, you can tell him about, Charlie.
Basically, the thing with the anvil is that over the eons of reforging happening and bringing new Eternals into the fold and old Eternals back after they have died, has given imperfections to the anvil itself.
Well, not to the anvil, the reforging process.
Just a full process. Okay.
It's when the soul is reforged that there are flaws within the reforging process. That's where the flaws come in. Like some Stormcast Eternals become emotionless, while others start exhibiting more supernatural things, like lightning crackling from their eyes to their flesh not looking human, but more like carved from statue, with cracks in it where their scars would show like divine energy, so forth, so on, to an uncontrollable temperament, be it strong bouts of depression, melancholy, to endless rage, to various different things like that.
So my main thing is getting help for the rest of the group in finding out and fixing the cause of these flaws and figuring out a better process.
Yeah, perfecting the process.
Yeah.
Because Sigmar, he was rushed, but if he did not act and release the Tempest of the Stormcast Eternal, all would have been lost to chaos.
Okay, I have my character's backstory now.
So yeah, what kind of fighter are you? Tell them a little bit, or tell the group a bit about your fight style. Who he is. You said he's a bit quiet. He'll talk to you and answer questions when directed to him.
Yeah.
But he himself is a little monotone, and
yeah, he suffers from memory loss. He remembers almost nothing from his first life, which would have been his life as a mortal. And he only has like these few flashes, and he can't really piece together, and it's very confusing to him, which when he gets to thinking on that pisses him off, makes him mad. He's definitely someone who's lost his self before, and now he's been made into a more battle-hardened soldier. He doesn't really have that much emotion in just day-to-day conversation, but in battle there have been times where a unfamiliar rage and hate would take over and present himself in the battlefield as a fighting more chaotically, very unbecoming of a Stormcast.
so and how that plays out, Charlie, there will be certain triggers, and I'm going to have you roll a determination test.
Yep.
If you fail at, that's when that kind of that takes over, and you go from a knight or a trained warrior to more of a berserker, abandoning tactics to slaughter. Any means necessary. Stratagems that were put in place, you're like, no, fuck this. Retreat is not an option. You just go balls to the wall, fucking berserk style, pretty much.
Yep.
Would your character be able to keep the difference between friend and foe?
That for now,
it depends on the trigger, I'd suppose.
Yeah.
The flaw says abandonment of every strategy. It would depend. Would kill it would letting you die.
Well, okay. More so, would you turn on the nearest person? So saying Dan, since he's got a high defense. Well, I'm not going to be standing up front next to him.
I don't think so.
Let's be honest here. When I go over my backstory, your supposition probably isn't unwarranted, Rambo.
Would
Okay,
he like berserk and not know who friend or foe is?
Yes, that's what I'm
Probably,
getting at.
probably not. But
Not right.
one of his flaws is he's unable to accept failure, and he will achieve victory no matter
At
the
any
cost.
Okay.
So now, if letting you die guarantees victory, he's probably gonna let you die.
Yeah, but I'm just curious
If
if
he goes
as
right now, when he goes into like his kind of like berserk fighting, not of right now. It depends on the trigger. If it's something truly
Long story
memorable,
short, he's a barbarian. He isn't a frenzied berserker, Rambo.
Yep.
Okay.
He's not going to fully Hulk out.
yet, anyways. Now that might change if he dies and he's reforged the sixth time.
Well, I have to make a suit just so I can knock him out and just go sleep, 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 sleep,
Yeah,
sleep.
you're gonna need to make him more. How do you say your character's name? Anyways, insert name.
Morales.
Morales Buster.
Yeah, that's his character right there. Now, having a Stormcast Eternal is a boon and a little bit of a detriment. So, I went over Soulfire with everybody except for Bridget yet, and I will be going over that with her, so she knows what Soulfire is. He does not contribute to your all Soulfire. He cannot spend Soulfire either. But one of the ways to clear Doom is for self-sacrifice, like we were talking before. Since Stormcast Eternals are reforged when they die, it's not guaranteed how long it takes for him to come back. But him being a player character, it's not going to be too long. He's the perfect one to do that, act of self-sacrifice, especially with the fallen nature to help clear Doom.
So he can't use it, but he can contribute in generating it.
He can contribute to getting rid of Doom in the most epic way possible with self-sacrifice, and still be able to play. Like if one of you all do a self-sacrifice to clear Doom, well, your character's fucking dead unless you all find esoteric magic that could potentially bring the person back. Charlie, if he does it, he'll be back at some point in time, more flawed than he was, but he will be able to come back. So. Dan, go ahead. Let's hear about your character, good sir.
So my character has been around for a very long time. He was a sprout that grew up near the original world tree before the worlds were shattered.
So it was part of the world that was.
Yes.
Okay. So
I used to be a cleric, or off cleric here for the Everqueen.
Okay.
But something she doesn't know, she knows I'm mad at her. At some point in my history, I went into a rage against her. I didn't attack her or, go against her teachings or anything like that. But I forcefully stripped myself of her power in its entirety.
Okay.
I believe in her still, so I haven't forsaken her per se. But I basically removed myself from all power associated and connected with it.
Okay. Okay.
To get me to join this, my price was I want the coordinates to my own sub-realm. And every time you have a mission for me, I get the contract for one Sylvith. One Sylvith joins me in my own sub-realm.
So basically what you were in the world that was. So I'm ever curious, whenever we do eventually go back to play Warhammer Fantasy, I would so love to see you play this character. Because, so basically he was a fae of some sort in the world that was. Because the Sylvaneth weren't a thing back then. You had your dryads and things like that. When Malice was destroyed, I think it was Malice, I believe that's what the world was called, when it was destroyed and Sigmar was cascading through the cosmos on a chunk of what was left of the world, and the chunks of the world shattered and moved into helped create the realms that are now. Because bits and pieces of it, and the magics that intertwined with it, helped create the realms. You would have been a fae of some kind, be it an elf or an archfey or
Satyr.
something, a satyr. All right, say that works perfect right there. So you were a satyr, and then when the realms were created and your soul was planted into the soul pod, that is when you rose as a Sylvaneth and whatnot. So how it sounds is you still have memories of the world that was too.
Yes.
All right, so that is actually very intriguing, and I could have some fun with that. How old were you in the world that was? Like, how long did you live? Because the Empire, to put it in perspective, the Empire in Warhammer Fantasy, it's a very old world, but the Empire from the day Sigmar was immortal before...
My character remembers before the Book of Grudges was started.
Okay. So you were actually pre-Sigmar. So you saw, or you knew of him as immortal, you know of him through his ascension, you were there at the battle, or did you contribute against the battle against Chaos in the world that was?
Yes, I joined the Wild Fae, not in the Elven continent. I don't remember its name off the top of my head.
Something like that. So yeah,
I fought with the Wild Fae I protected the World Tree,
forest and whatnot. Gotcha. Okay. All right. That actually gives me a lot of creativity right there, because I know a hell of a lot more about fantasy than Age of Sigmar. Age of Sigmar has only been out for like 4 years, 5 years, something like that.
The next part, Charlie, you can't metagame this because I haven't told a soul about this. My character hasn't told a soul about this.
Okay.
My character hates your current race.
The Soulcast Eternals?
The Soulcast Eternals. My character, what turned him away from the Everqueen is the fact that she tolerates yours existence. My character is collecting Sylvaneth to build an army to destroy the Anvil.
Fair. Do you look at, why does your character view that? Does he look at it as an affront to the natural order of things? Because that is actually one of the reasons why Sylvaneth do not inherently get along with Soulcast Eternals.
My character doesn't despise the Soulcast Eternals as individuals. What he despises is the Anvil itself, the idea of cheating death. Even though my character technically can live forever, he doesn't view it as a contradiction because he knows he's eventually going to end. Like, he wasn't exactly pleased when they brought him back from us when he was a satyr and when they brought him back as a Sylvaneth.
But it's the fact that there is one point you will just rest forever versus them, they won't.
On top of that, it's proven that over time that the souls are getting damaged and destroyed. My character feels that Charlie's goal is a fool's errand, that the damage to the soul is innate in this reincarnation cycle that he's going through. He doesn't believe he'll ever be able to fix it.
Fair.
He thinks it's innate to the process. That's why he wants to destroy the Anvil. But he tells no one of this. He keeps it deeply suppressed, but that's what he's building towards.
I like it. I like it. Because, going on what you said, like, the Sylvaneth do not inherently hate the individual, the Soulcast Eternals, because they have done. It was a small grouping of Kornoth hunters and a small regiment of Stormcast Eternal that managed to battle forces and take the Everqueen soul pod to, I forget what mountain it was, but planted it there so she could be rebirthed, and to the war goddess she is currently right now. Because she was depending on her current aspect, Laria is either this peace-loving hippie, or a harbinger of change or war. Just depending on the natural order of life itself. And currently her current aspect is war. It was both, like I said, Kornoth hunters and a squad of Stormcast Eternal that managed to actually say that, because if Nurgle would have gotten Alaria, Nurgle would have become the most powerful of the Chaos Gods, and don't know if he could have actually stopped him, because he would have had control over life itself. And with what Nurgle is, with plague and disease and whatnot, everything would have been pretty fucked. All right. I like that.
Charlie?
Yep.
All right. So, Josh, so you're just so I got this for the price for joining. And there is a disconnect for you, Dan, when you do undergo this, even though you do have this grudge against the other queen of open hostility. You both understand her and resent her for certain actions she's done. When you accept this, you remove yourself pretty much from the spirit song. Your memories, your ancestral knowledge and whatnot will not be passed on. So, like, if you die, that no longer feeds future generations of Sylvan. And there is that disconnect, even though you have this, this relationship with the Everqueen, you have grown accustomed to the spirit song and whatnot, and that sudden disconnect from that. You can still talk to Sylvaneth through long distances and things like that, but you are forever apart from the spirit song.
I can't imprint on the song. I can still hear it, interact with it even, but I can't imprint on it.
Exactly, and that is a bit of a disconnect, and that is a two-way. It was a two-way thing. So you would gain knowledge from other Sylvaneth and various things like that, and that's cut off. You no longer have access to various things like that. So
What about myself from pre this moment?
What do you mean?
I had a life well before where I took this deal. So is my imprint still there from before I made the deal?
Yeah, everything prior to that or before that is still there. It's just any future experiences or endeavors will not be imprinted on the spirit soul.
Fair enough.
And vice versa. You won't receive anything from it. Unless you find a way to change that. But as of right now, with how soul binding works. But for your price was the coordinates to a sub-realm. And gaining a Sylvaneth for what? Sorry, that's there. What triggers?
Sylvaneth that answers to me.
Yeah, what triggers you getting another Sylvaneth?
The way I understand this isn't a one-time gig. We'll have constant quests and things that we're forced to do over the course of combating chaos.
Chaos, death, and destruction.
So, am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, you're constantly going. That is what your existence is until you either die or you find one of the fabled ways of no longer being sold out.
So whenever I'm tasked with striking against
one of the enemies of
tasked with destroying an enemy of order or resolving a mission with dealing with the enemies of order, that's one contract.
Okay, so the realm gate that connects to your sub-realm is within the realm of life. This might feel, short-term goals or long-term goals for you is to basically figure out, or find other realm gates or figure out means of teleporting to your sub-realm without having to go to the light plane. Because your standing realm gate that takes you there, and only you and Alaria know of this realm gate. And any that you take there or the Sylvaneth you get under your command know where this realm gate is. It is hidden. It is secret. Um,
And it doesn't
So-
necessarily have to be Sylvaneth. It could be satyrs. It could be the wood elves, nat dryads. My character isn't picky, but
well, and then
sworn to his own song.
dryads and whatnot. Well, dryads are actually a thing now, but all that, like, satyrs are no longer a thing. They are part of the Sylvaneth. Their souls were put into the soul pods, and they were rebirthed pretty much. The natural reincarnation cycle. The fact that you have knowledge of the world that was is a truly rare occurrence, because when the reincarnation cycle happens, the memories of lives past, you might have glimmers and whatnot, but nothing ever truly concrete, because it's under the assumption or under the idea of what reincarnation is. With you, you have almost a truly terrifying, precise memory of what the world was before, and you are an anomaly amongst the Sylvaneth and other races that have undergone the reincarnation.
Understood.
All right, Josh, tell us about your character, sir.
I don't really have a whole hell of a lot, but
12 pages later.
no, I literally do not have that much.
You
11
say,
pages later.
yeah, you say that. But, and again, guys, please answer the 10 questions, and it can be as detailed as you want to, but save it in a Word file and send it to me so it gives me some building. But yeah, so Josh, tell us who your character is, what he is. Well, what did he do this out of devotion? Probably not, because you're a dwarf or a Durden, and your people are about contracts and getting something for something. No Durden believes in necessarily doing something for free. The Fire Slayers, they have no problem fighting for a cause, mercenary, whatnot, but they want their weight or what they're worth paid in gold. Same with the Cordoon. They're all about contracts, and they honor everything they do, but they also find loopholes. They're not above exploiting loopholes.
Pocket money.
Yeah.
It's all the rage right now.
Not to mention, Grungni is not really worshipped, considering he kind of left before the ATF.
He took sanctuary with the Six Smiths and Zir when Sigmar closed the realm gates. So are you one of the few Durden or Cardoon that worships Grungi, or however the hell you say his name?
Grungni.
Grungni is what they all say.
Grungi, okay. Are you one of the few that actually worship him still? A lot of them don't worship him because they feel betrayed when he went to Zir. They still do honor and respect him because he did teach them the ways of smithy, of engineering, and so forth, so on. So while the majority of them don't worship him, there's still a level of honor there, even though they feel betrayed because of what their god did.
I'm gonna say no, but my family did for the longest period of time, even after he did the betrayal, or a lot of people thought he did the betrayal, betrayed them. But my character doesn't worship him.
Okay. So Ilaria went to him, beseeching him for help. While she isn't abhorrent to, advancement and whatnot, Sylvaneth are, and she's all about do not take more than what's needed. They're not going to, slaughter whole civilizations for, building a kingdom. Just don't take more than what is needed. Show respect. And Gruni, he understands that as a whole because he's not about rampant, depletion of resources and whatnot. She goes to him, and why does he come? He specifically comes to you instead of any other Cardoon. He comes to
The only ideas I have for my character is, he is an outcast within the dwarves. Well, his family is. Something happened. One of his ancestors, recent ancestors, like his grandfather or something, did something that caused a lot of dwarf deaths. Either did something, it was unconfirmed. My character, I'm going to say, is like 6 when this happened, so he doesn't fully know. And because of that all happened, they weren't sent away or rejected. They were just disavowed, dishonored.
Disemboweled are two different things than dishonored, man.
A grudge was entered against them.
Basically. I mean,
Okay.
they weren't banished from the dwarf kingdom. They were just, yeah.
Okay.
Your character.
My character has been getting the shit kicked out of him just because of what his grandfather did for years. And because of this, they moved out of the main dwarf area and are settled somewhere near the edge around where humans are.
Okay, well, on which realm? Did you look over the realms by chance?
I didn't, no, I didn't.
I'll take that as a no. So the Cardoon call Chaman home, which is the realm of metal transmutation and whatnot. Unlike the other realms, it is a realm constantly in flux. It is a dangerous realm. There is no flat landmass like in Quesh or Azir or Gahir or Gyranus or anything like that. There are floating islands. There's acid rain. In the center of the realm, there is the spiral conflux, where the god beast of I forget the name, but it was basically this badass fucking griffin of magnetic power and craziness that was drawn there and kind of ripped the world asunder, or the realm asunder. So it is literally a realm in constant flux. Do you reside on the home realm of your people, or were you banished to another realm? Within Chaman is the floating ports of your people, sky ports.
Both Josh's backstory and his theme song in one.
Really? Really?
Click on it. We got to see what this is. All right, Bridget is opening it up. Let's see what shenanigans this is.
It is literally word for word what he described.
I've yet to see this movie, actually.
I haven't seen Lion King 2 either.
I've seen it a lot. It's one of the better sequels.
Which one?
Lion King 2.
Fair enough.
That is surprisingly fitting. All right. So, yes, do you reside on the home realm of your people, or were you banished to another realm? Or not necessarily banished, but stationed in another realm?
I don't want to say we were banished at all. We were just,
That's why I said restation.
Basically, yeah. I mean, my father, I want to say, was working his way up to be, rumored to be like admiral or something. So he was actually getting pretty prestigious, but then, yeah, this happened.
Okay. So again, another realm or your home realm? Because we can figure out what realm later. We'll actually make it fit where y'all are starting. We can say if you want to go with that realm or route, you're restationing. It's AQYHIS. How the fuck do you say that? Equish?
I don't know. I'll say another realm.
Well, we'll say the fire realm because that's also relatively adjacent to the realm of metal and gold. All right, because the campaign will be starting on the Great Parch, which is in the fire realm. So Grungi comes to you. Why does he come to you? Why does he choose you above all others?
Well, I'm not the greatest combatant. I am I am a really good crafter. I try to
So,
make things perfect.
so we can do one of two things. The first one actually ties in really well with Charlie's backstory because Grungi is the greatest ally of Sigmar. They are BFFs. Because Grungi, he sees this in you. You're, while not the greatest combatant, your eye to detail, craftsmanship, engineering, and whatnot is second to none. And he brings you on to, yes, he's helping you. You would be helping the Sylvaneth, but this is to actually help Charlie's character to achieve his goal because he's the one who created the anvil. To fix the reforging process for the Stormcast Eternals. If you like that route.
I guess it would work. I didn't really put a whole lot of thought into it. I just liked the whole idea of my character being disavowed or whatever, and Grugny is kind of that god he's lost a lot of respect. I don't know how better to describe it.
Right. So then if you go this route, if you help fix the forging process, because your people are built on, meritocracy, your merit dictates your status amongst your people. This is a goal if you manage to either help, lessen the flow or fixing the reforging process completely would regain your family's honor and your honor as well. It would put you, the leaders, the admirals, the people, the high ups of your people would be second to you pretty much. You would achieve something that would put you far and above uh, your peers and again restore honor to you and your family.
That would work for that.
That's if you want to go that route. Also, to help you with that, basically every downtime that you have. Uh, wow, that was very delayed.
That was some pretty epic lag.
That was some truly epic lag right there. Wow.
I was gonna say, did you? At first, I thought you just moved really far away from your mic, but after I started hearing repeat, I'm like, no.
No, that was some truly epic lag. At the beginning of your downtime, when you can take endeavors and whatnot, you have 100 drops worth of crafting material delivered to you that you can either stockpile or spend on that current endeavor. Sound good to you?
That would be my payment for doing this.
Well, yeah, you're not getting a huge payment like the other people is because your backstory. You've been dishonored. Grungy's literally giving you the opportunity to restore honor to you and your family.
Which in the end would be bigger for your character, having fixed their name amongst their people.
Plus, every downtime at the beginning of every downtime or rest period of like significant portions, you get 100 drops worth of crafting materials for your endeavors that you can either stockpile or.
My thought process was going for knowledge, but yeah.
Okay, well, feel free. Like, what kind of knowledge?
Knowledge on pretty much everything I can get a hold of to deal with crafting. How the gates work, that sort of thing.
All right, so basically, then we can do this. You get a special endeavor when you have downtime that you can travel to Azir and basically peruse the archives of Grungy. That gives you knowledge and actually access to forges and whatnot that most do not have access to. It means you would be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with the 6 legendary smiths and actually converse with Grungy.
That would probably be, yeah, I would agree with that one.
All right, there you go. So you have a 2-front fold. You are helping the chosen of the Everqueen to investigate and find out what is truly going on, as she fears something is hiding in the shadows that no one is prepared for. None of the alliances, be it order, chaos, destruction, or death. And to aid Charlie's character in fixing or finding a way to mend the reforging process. All right. Hi, Bridget. Tell us about your character or concept you have. She is new to this. She has played D&D 3rd edition before, so she isn't a complete noob. But this is her first dive into Warhammer. And of course, never playing this system before, as none of us have played this system before. Go away, dog. Go do dog stuff. Shoot.
I have very little, I feel like, to start with.
Yeah.
But I'm going to play a Zenith,
Sylvaneth.
Messed that up.
It's all right. I thought you said semen there for a second, so.
I'm going to do a Chronos Hunter.
Kornoth.
See?
It's okay.
It's
okay.
A Kornoth Hunter. I don't have much of a backstory.
Okay, well.
Working on all of this, though.
All right, so important
I don't need
question.
these questions.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Shh. Did you do this when the Everqueen came to you? Because it is a big responsibility for when you become a soulbound, specifically for Sylvaneth, because they're cut away from the spirit song, like I was talking to Dan about. It is both a jarring experience and allows them to experience things that are alien to them, because Sylvaneth are generally very set in how they view things and whatnot. You know, they don't experience a lot of the same emotions other races do, because they lack those experiences or that kind of mindset because the spirit saw it. You're cut away from it, and you're able to experience emotions and various things that are alien to Silvernet. So did you do this straight out of devotion, or did you, like them, get something for what has been asked for you to do? Because you are being cut off from the rest of the Silvernet in a certain aspect. Did you do it out of complete devotion to the Everqueen, or was something bargained to you for to undergo this?
Like probably a bargain.
A bargain, okay. So you're a Kordoth hunter. They rose from the hunter god Durthu. When Nurgle slew him and the Everqueen picked up his spear, that's when the Kordoth hunters rose. A lot of Sylvaneth have kind of almost a little bit of mistrust for the Kordoth, because while they do answer to the Everqueen, they also hear the whispers of Durthu, the hunter god that was allied to Illyria. But they feel like the rest of the Sylvaneth kind of are leery because they answer two different beings, if that makes sense, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They are also, the shock troopers, the elite forces. You know, when Kornoth go to hunt their prey, they're unrelenting. They do not flinch from their task. They are, they're unmovable. Charlie's character will probably love you because you're, kind of that same mindset, victory at all costs kind of. Kornoth hunters kind of represent that very well. So what would you have bargained for the Everqueen to have this placed upon?
I think it would be some sort of a goal, like as I'm not really sure what it would be. Something to do with. I feel like my character's not going to be crazy about like humans and like creatures. Like I'm not a straight up like bigot or anything. I don't hate them, like being around them or anything, but I'm not crazy about them. I'm not crazy about the way they treat
the natural order and whatnot. So again,
would you like help?
Wait, what was that, Dad?
Would you like help?
Would you like some help from him?
Sure. More than welcome to chip in.
What you could go for is a reawakening of the I'm sorry, I just blanked on what your archetype is. I forgot its name.
Kordoth Hunter.
Yes. You want your Lord's Spear.
Ooh.
Okay.
Basically, your character's thought process, the way you're describing it is, all these various races are destroying nature and destroying the natural world more than they have to. And so you want your Lord's Spear to raise nature and have nature fight back.
Ooh, that is one of the most prized possessions of the Everqueen, because that came from Durthu, the hunter, the father of the Kornoth. So, that is.
Or you could work your way up to it, and you want her to perform the ritual of awakening from the old world.
Ooh. Okay.
The ritual of awakening is you basically are brought into the world tree, because I'm assuming the world tree still exists, because I don't know how to do that thing.
Well, that's still on the realm of, it is within Gyranus, the realm of life. That is where the Everqueen resides. That's part of the world that survived.
Okay. You're brought into the world tree, and you go through awakening, and basically You get a part of nature's powers. You are able to call upon and lead the hordes of nature. You are literally nature's avenger. That is
Okay.
the title that you assume upon yourself.
I think I like that. That would be like my goal, that I want her to perform that ritual.
Okay. That was very, and I'll work with that. So unlike monetary gain or things like that, that would actually give her access to a couple talents that she doesn't have to spend XP on, because that would give her what she's basically asking for and whatnot. Whereas, Dan, your character has a realm, and you got Sylvaneth that are joining your side. Rambo got a very unique, rare Magnadroth egg. Josh gets to peruse the archives and rub shoulders with the great Six Smiths, and Grungy, you yourself, she gets, yeah. So that works right there. All right. So when the campaign starts, acquiesce, or how the hell you say it, and I will look up the pronunciation, the realm of fire. You all are sent there for the beginning investigations of what Ilaria is fearing. Her visions are taking more and more. Seeing these or feeling these disturbances within the 8 realms, not just the realm of life. The most prominent that she currently feels is within the realm of fire. She speaks of even Nagash will tremble at what is to come, with what she feels. Like, she cannot put a true word or whatnot, but just this feeling. Nagash, the undying king, the lord of Shayes, the realm of death, even he will quake in what she feels is on the wake. Hold on. I don't have my notes in front of me, but a small township, frontier town within the realm of fire is where you begin. And yeah, that's where it's going to start out with. Sorry, my dog is pacing back and forth, and he is irritating me. Anything else you all wish to add or have questions for one another? Dan, what is your long-term goal? Have you decided on a long-term goal?
How is it the same way long-term goals and are described in World of Darkness? The idea being 3 to 5 sessions it should take for a long term, and 1 to 2 for a short term.
No, long term can go all the way to end the campaign.
Short term should be anywhere between 2 to 5 sessions. Long term could be anywhere between 5 or 6+ sessions, just depending on it. But you know our group, Dan. How many times have we made long term goals and they happened that session?
My long-term goal is I want to collect a seed from the world tree for myself.
Okay. That one is more doable. And when I talk to people about their long-term goal, try to make it piecemeal. Like Charlie, he wants to basically fix the reforging process. If that was his entire long-term goal, that might not actually be finished during this campaign, or might not ever actually become or be a thing, just because the nature of it. But take it piecemeal. Like for Charlie, I recommend that a long-term goal is find bits and pieces that are significant enough that actually help the process. Don't pick long-term goals that will last the entire campaign because you're screwing yourself out of 10 XP and potentially retiring your character and starting another one with half the XP of that one. Think piecemeal with long-term. So the one last aspect we do need to do as a group, and if Devin and Zach do end up joining, they're just going to, suck it up and take what the group decides. So as a group, the group needs to determine a long-term goal and a short-term goal for the group. So you have your personal short-term and long-term goals, and then you have your group short-term and long-term goals. So this is where I'm opening the floor up to you as the players of what the long-term goal and short-term goal of your group is.
How long has our group been together?
This is going to be your first outing together. You all have had, maybe because of the soul binding process and whatnot, you all have known each other roughly a month.
So we have an idea of what the group, each person is capable of to some degree.
Y'all are knowledgeable of what y'all are capable of. I'm doing it that way so y'all have, some knowledge of one another. Y'all have undergone minor things together, not, quote unquote quests where y'all have probably done a few battles together to test one another. But as a whole, the beginning of this is literally your all's first grand quest together as the Soul Bind.
My suggestion for the short term is to discover what force of chaos has invaded the realm of fire.
That would be, that would,
'Cause that's our current mission. That would make a good short-term goal.
And depending on that would fit the window to 1 to 3 sessions.
And then if depending on what we discover, our next short-term party goal could be to defeat said force of chaos.
I guess with making goals, I do want to ask Derek something really quick. In the rule book, I know we can house rule it, but in the book, I did notice it says that you can pick a new short-term or long-term goal at the end of the session. Are you going to have it done that way, or just when it's completed?
I'll do a mixture of both, and also if a goal becomes unattainable at the end of the session, when you realize it's unattainable, or during that time, you'll be able to pick a new goal. Because of player choices, you might all do something that makes a goal unattainable. So, of course, you're not going to be locked into it if you cannot achieve it. If you want to, real quick. Bridget's going to take Kane outside real quick. I'm telling you, he just wants to go outside and play. That's. Yeah.
I guess I wanted that clarification before we started trying to get too many goals set in place.
Right. And just like with Chronicles of Darkness, y'all, if y'all want to take on more goals after your initial ones, I'm all for that. But starting out, we're just doing one short-term and one long-term goal. So we get the feel of it, learn the game, and after those are achieved, if y'all want to take on multiple short-term or long-term goals, I'm all for it. So Bridget did say she likes the idea of what Dan suggested as the short-term goal. Now I want to clarify, she does not know, Illyria does not know if it is the force of chaos. She sensed something amiss. What is stalking the realm of life, she cannot sense. It's like when it interacts with the realm as a whole, there's a void. And it's something she's never experienced before. Where chaos is, chaos, depending what chaos god is involved. It could be bloodshed and, violence, war, whatnot, corn. to mutation and, influx of magic from Zinch, to plague and disease from Nurgle, to acts of depravity and, sin on unimaginable scales with Slanesh. With what she has felt within the realm of life, it is a void. She cannot determine, but it gives her a sickening feeling, terrifies her far more than Nurgle ever did. And he almost won.
I guess there is one thing I do have a question on. When we, as characters, not players, do we know roughly where the balance of Doom and Soulfire are?
You as players, yes.
But not as characters?
Well, okay, so Doom is, again, a narrative and a mechanical tool. Right now, Doom is set at 1. It's just what the natural state of affairs are. Chaos is trying to win, destroy, the forces of destruction, the orcs, the goblins, and whatnot are causing havoc. And, the forces of death are doing their thing, trying to snuff out life and add to their endless armies. It's just the natural state of things. When Doom starts to rise, then the narrative changes. Things become more dire. You'll see the world reflect the current stage of Doom.
Okay. So over time, we could maybe gauge, but not maybe initially. Our character's good.
Well, initially, it's the current state is what it has been for so many, centuries and whatnot. And again, Soulfire, you do know, because that is the strength that binds each of the Soulbounds. Except for Charlie, of course, because he doesn't contribute to it like a dick. So, short-term goal as a group is, because y'all were sent to the realm of fire, whatever this echo that she is perceiving, whatever this is, it is actually... Huh?
Discover what the echo in the realm of fire is.
As she's actually feeling a vibration within the realm, more concrete than in her own realm of life. And that goes back to her feeling that there is more than just one. Whatever this is, there's more than just one. She feels more strongly what's rippling through the realm of fire, but cannot perceive what's happening within her own realm, which is very disheartening and worrying to her. So long-term goal.
So, just so I am clear, the group was formed for the basis of tracking down these echoes, correct?
Yeah, or whatever. Whatever
this is. This group hasn't been put together to investigate this one echo. Our overarching thing is to investigate these echoes in their entirety.
Yes.
So this is a long-term group, is what I'm... Like, we are assigned to be a long-term group.
Yeah.
Well, first I want to hear what Josh and Charlie have to say about the short-term goal, whether or not they like it or agree with it.
Oh, yeah. Discovering what's happening in Realm of Fire, I think that's a good short-term goal. Because that can be easily, okay, we discovered it, now let's go defeat it. That's easily...
Or chase it off, or do what we can to remove it.
Yep.
My suggestion for a long-term goal is for a base of operations. For us to each contribute something and create a base of operations for our group to operate out of.
Okay.
That would be, what do you guys think? Because if this is going to be a long-term group, you'd think we would need something to base ourselves out of, because we're not going to want to travel that light all the time.
Yeah.
And considering some of our characters' goals, like mine, I'm not going to be running around with, umpteen animals either.
You're not running around with the menagerie.
Yeah.
Would we want that base of operations like in a mortar realm, or what?
Well, that's something I think we could.
I think that's more like in-game choice, like what we find that's available. I just meant as a long-term goal the idea of establishing a base, and then realistically a good after we've established our base, a good second party long-term goal would be to create our own portal, our own gate.
And that ties in with you, Josh, right there, figuring out things with the realm gates and actually creating your own realm gate.
The thing that I was thinking is we could do a kind of a sub. Well, once we get through and get comfortable, a long term is that, and then another short term. Well, maybe it'd be more of a mid-term one is picking a plane or location that would be best suitable.
Be right back. Y'all can keep talking. I hear Ken barking.
So that's all. My thought is that way, once our characters kind of see more of what's going on, we can then pick a place, and then the long one being, we build it from there, or build it then.
Probably smelled or heard that dog out there. That's why I wanted to go up. Where are there a bunch of people congregating?
Because they're teenagers.
Ew. Disgusting. All right.
Charlie, what do you think?
That seems fine with me. I agree with having a base of operations for our group. That's probably going to take us a little bit to figure out exactly where we want to put it and stuff.
Right, and actually forge it and the like. And, you know, with this being a long-term goal and saying a base of operation, I'm assuming an actual functioning base of operation, not just going to somewhere saying, I claim this as our base of operation, but going through the logistics and the infrastructure of making it a...
and it's just a warehouse?
So this is what they suggested for the long-term, is to actually found a base of operation. Since this is going to be a long-term group, and this is something, because Illyria, she doesn't know how long this is going to take. She doesn't know how many there are. She doesn't know exactly what's going on, but there's fear in her enough that warrants creating a full-bound party. So Dan suggested a base of operation for long. Cool with that? All right, she's cool with that.
And Josh, you're very talkative. I mean, that's good for a crafter. I mean, it's not like we're going to be relying heavily on you for, you know, creating said base.
I'm cool with establishing a base of operation.
All right. And okay, we have the group's short-term and long-term goal. Dan has his long-term goal of getting a seed from the world tree. Dan, you also have one Sylvaneth within your realm.
Okay.
Because you are now undertaking your first official quest as a soul, as a soul bound. So you do have one NPC within your realm that you can either bring along with your party or keep them there to foster the realm, safeguard the realm. Because right now there's only the single realm gate. That doesn't mean people can't go into it and whatnot. So you will, as time goes on, you will have to, do some logistics of how you want to defend your realm gate. It's in a secret place, but that doesn't mean in the future that it will always be secret, especially when you start pissing people off like you all normally do.
My NPCs are staying put in that realm for the time being, Derek.
Don't know what you're talking about, Derek.
Out of all of us, he's especially talking to you.
So my question here then, and this, I didn't know about what you'd want to do, and this kind of lines up. So my question to you and Bridget actually is, would you want her, or would you be both acceptable of this, that she is actually a Sylvaneth that was joining with? That is something you two can discuss and figure out if that's something you would want to do. Because, funny enough, your personal goal, Dan, or like what you bargained for to be the soul binding, kind of lines up with having an extra soul in it.
I think we're going to be pursuing our goals separately, but my character might try to persuade her to joining my various causes.
Okay. All right, cool. Dan, he built his character from the ground up instead of using an archetype, and he got this really cool item, the way pipes. All kinds of shit. Yeah, what the tree remnant gets, what the items it gets. But yeah, so Dan is a teleporting tree. All right, so we had the bases. I mean, is there anything else you all wish to add about your characters? Any questions? You do know you're being sent. Your first stop is the Realm of Fire as the Ever Queen. And what has actually Sigmar kind of disturbed by this, and he trusts Ilaria. He actually views her as one of his greatest allies and seeks her wisdom in many matters. Along with Teclis, is that she is the only one experiencing these prophetic visions. And, you know, these dreams within the spirit song. That's also one thing he wants you to try to uncover, Charlie, is why is she the only god, the only divinity that is experiencing this? This literally has her on the verge of being terrified. Like, she can't even properly put it in words. She's just, you know, conveying what she feels. The only image that she has, again, seen within these visions of a lone figure, and, you know, having a similar mask to the Stormcast Eternals, but it is muted gray, long flowing black cloak, and a heavy plate on. Almost kind of a remnant of both the Stormcast Eternal and a Blood Warrior.
What she doesn't realize is it's actually me. I'm the ultimate bad guy. I've decided to take the unusual route of joining the main hero's party.
What better way to undermine everything?
And take out my competitors. Until I'm the last evil overlord standing.
Fair. All right. So unless there's anything, guys, session 0 is pretty much done. We got the you know, basis of why it's starting the group. You all know a little bit about each other. We have a long-term goal, a short-term goal for the group. Again, guys, the 10 questions in the book, answer those. They don't need to be super in-depth or anything like that. You can be as in-depth as you like, but that gives me a little bit more to work with. Figure out your personal short-term and long-term goals. Because this is a new system, and it is very much about epic play. Normally, you only get XP for completing your goals. I'm doing. You'll be gaining at least 1 XP a session, not including any goals that are achieved and whatnot. Because I do want to push this system to the limits like we do any new system we start out. And then, of course, future games we play in this system will be, you know, potentially dialed back depending on how gritty we want to make it. I don't know if I want to do my traditional like I do with Chronicles of Darkness, where I give you all 1 XP, or in Chronicles of Darkness, turn 1 beat per hour of session we play. That might completely just escalate y'all's power tremendously, but y'all will be at least getting 1 XP a session, plus any goals that were complete. Um, so yeah, anything else from you guys? Anything y'all want to add? Any questions?
You're okay with repeatable ones as long as they tie with our character, like the
Yeah,
theme of them.
so long as they make narrative sense. Like you want to make a epic menagerie of dangerous and exotic animals. That's a perfect, repeatable, long-term quest.
Where,
Now,
yeah, learning, taking the time of actually studying animals if we kill them or running across them.
yeah, your Magnadroth that you got for your soul binding, that does not count towards your long-term goal because that was
I'm
part.
going to help Rambo here for a second.
Okay.
Rambo, during your negotiations for what you want, go the route I did. An animal per quest. Your base was your epic companion, the resurrecting one that you got here.
Okay.
But in the future, you accomplish a goal and you get a rare or an exotic animal.
Would you be okay with that, Derek?
Because as it is, yours is incredibly undervalued compared to everyone else's.
Well, and Charlie he chose to play Stormcast Eternal, so he's Sigmar's bitch. And I love Stormcast Eternal. They're fucking awesome. So basically, in this endeavor, then Rambo, when you have whenever you acquire X number of beasts, both mundane or monstrous, just depending on their value, will complete your long-term goal because yours is more static, more easily, given a value to comparable to some of the other long-term goals that can be out there. So we'll actually have it for probably your spirit. Every time you've acquired a number of exotic animals for your menagerie equal to your spirit, you complete or double your spirit. I'll think on this. You complete your long-term goal.
Okay.
And you can have the repeater. I'm fine with that because that makes narrative sense to who your character is for now.
All right.
All right. Anything else, guys? It's Friday. Minus Rambo, we will be starting session 1. I will be making maps. Yes, I know I say that a lot, but I've already started working on maps and whatnot. Get a token
up on a cloud or a flash drive.
That is what I'm doing.
If you don't, I will drive down there and I will kick you straight in the nuts. This is the third time your computer has crapped out on you and you've lost maps. And I'm more than just maps, where you've lost everything. Third time.
To be fair, well, that does suck because that's over the course of the 6 years we've been gaming together. But, that's still a low number. I haven't hit double digits yet.
3 times on 3 major campaigns, not on the piddly-ass campaigns that no one gives 2 shits about. It was always on a major campaign that we had poured a shit ton of time and energy into building and playing, and then your computer decides, hey, watch this. We're gonna fuck with them.
Hey guys, hold my beer.
One thing
time we start a major campaign, your computer craps out on you at least once.
At least this time,
or you lose a notebook.
At least this time, it happened at the end of the campaign and before we started the next one.
Fair enough.
It can be like I am working on rebuilding it because we will be going back to that. Poor Bridget, she was like, we're starting on a ship, right? And I'm like, that was for the other campaign we were going to do before my computer crapped out on me. So she had an idea for the character she wanted to play for the Pathfinder game. going into the sequel to the campaign we just finished up, and I was like, nope, not this game.
Well,
But,
she's in the boat of everyone else because we all have an idea of our character.
Right?
Yep.
Yep.
We will be going to that. Again, I'm just happy it happened there instead of 4 sessions, 5 sessions a month in, 2 months in, and then my computer crapping out like it did last time.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to submit a suggestion that you just give someone a folder that you trust and say, do not read, just so we have a backup. And then we have another backup with your flash drive.
I will
We want triplicate backups here.
I will do that with you and Bridget. While I trust everybody, that just becomes monotonous sending it to everybody. So, Dan, you and Bridget, I will send a backup folder for all the stuff for campaigns moving forth. So if anything does happen, it will be on the cloud, my hard drive, and 2 people have it. So it is really the act of the cosmos against us if somehow all that gets fucking fucked up.
Don't say that. Now it's going to happen.
Yeah, my computer screwed up. I need the folder. Fuck, it got corrupted. Babe, I need the. What's that look? Google Drive goes down because of some crazy hacker. It's like.
That one could actually happen. That one that wouldn't
That
make
one
sense.
happened.
Okay, but I bid you all good night. Rambo had a good question earlier while you were gone, and I figured I'd re-ask it for him.
Oh, yes.
So, when we start doing broadcasted sessions, are we going to have a hard time length? So, in other words, we're going to be starting 5 o'clock on the dot or 6 o'clock your time on the dot, and we go for 3 hours. So we end 8 o'clock our time, 9 o'clock your time. And I don't mean like literally like we won't go 5 minutes over, but I mean in general. The idea being we have a hard set length of time we're doing this.
Well, it is on Fridays, so when would be the cutoff time for people on Fridays? Saturdays are my busy day, but I can realistically go until midnight my time, and that'd be the cutoff.
So 11 hour time is the highest. I guess 10 or 11 would probably be my limit, because I'd be up probably by somewhere between 5 and 6 with Catherine, because she doesn't know the meaning of sleeping in yet.
Right.
2.5 hours from now, so is 10 o'clock. That would be my hard cutoff. And I mean hard, like if we hit 10:01, I'm going to say goodbye.
Fair.
Because Friday's no different than a weekday for me.
Gotcha. So hard start time, 6 my time. Give a leeway of 15 minutes either way, starting 15 minutes earlier, starting 15 minutes late. Since we are going to do broadcasting, we'll do a quick recap, and we are going to do a round table of recap, so it's not on Dan all the time to do the recap.
Okay.
As it sits, I'm working from home, but if I do get shifted, either might be 15-20 minutes before I get home, just so you know, on Fridays, because I work on the other side of town. But
6:30 is the hard time, start time. 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock my time is the hard cutoff time. That's 10 for Dan.
Okay.
So that gives us 4.5 hours right there. Most sessions are about anywhere between 3 to 4.5, 5 hours. So that gives us 4.5 hours to do a session.
Sounds good. I'll start like the stream before you call. And to do that right, I'll probably have my sound off my computer, so I'll just have to sit and wait for the call.
Okay.
But I'll plan on that and have that all set up and everything.
Early Monday, I start work at 11 p.m. So during the day, I can either get with you and we do some test broadcasting, or Wednesday, Thursday, I'm off, and we can do some test broadcasting, make sure everything's up and going.
Yeah, let's do the Wednesday, Thursday, because I'm home all week.
Okay. Okay, so Wednesday, Thursday, we'll do some test broadcasting, making sure it's up and going. You can save the broadcast, right? So we can post it on YouTube or whatever.
Oh yeah, my Streamlabs and Twitch have
Okay.
downloadable versions of all the streams I put up.
You
Okay.
should.
Oh, here's the thing, guys, and this is for you, Charlie, and you, Rambo, because this happens more so with you two. When you have to go AFK for various reasons, you need to let the group know, because we are doing podcasts and whatnot.
Mhm.
Do not just vanish. Do not just clearly say, "Hey, I got to go AFK," so we will have a break about halfway through. It's 4.5 hours, so about 2 hours in, we'll take a 10-minute break, get some snacks, get some drinks, whatever. 10-minute break, and right there. But for whatever reason, so try to plan your schedule. With you and your girl Rambo. Be like, hey, Fridays, this is my time. We are streaming. We are going to be recording. So, try to make sure you have your schedule change. And of course, stuff does come up. Hey, you got to use the restroom, or hey, your cat's on fire or something. Something happens. That's fine. But just try to, make sure your schedule is freed up.
There's kind of a lot of room in between those two.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping they're not equal in occurrence with you, Derek. I go to the bathroom every so often during the day, and while I'm out, I just set my cat on fire. Why? Why not? Casual animal cruelty. That's what we're all about here.
That'll get us the views,
That
Again, Charlie, you need to just for covering our own ass, make a little thing on your Twitch where it's going to be broadcasted at mature audience, 18 years older.
Oh yeah,
because
that's automatically up whenever before videos even pop up on my channel. Hey, this is for 18 and up.
Okay, cool. Because we generally do touch on darker subjects. We have dark sense of humor and whatnot. Want us to get in trouble or anything like that. So yeah, make sure it's rated for 18 and older.
Yeah, and right now these streams will be under the Roll20 section on Twitch.
Okay, cool. Repost your Twitch channel and Skype group chat if you don't mind, for everybody.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so hard start time is 6:30 Eastern time, 5:30. What y'all are
Central.
Central.
5:30 Central. End time is 10 Central, 11 Eastern. So yeah, again, keep AFKs to a minimum, and if you do have to go AFK, make it clear so everybody knows, so we can either pause or not go to you and wait 10 minutes for a response, and kind of slow down pace. Be respectful, be on time, be us. There is no don't hold back. Make the jokes we do and whatnot. That's why I said make sure you label it as 18 plus. Yep. But be on time, guys. And then again, about 2 hours, 2.5 hours in, we will try to make sure we take a 10-minute break.
And Josh, you have a goal. You have an assignment before next session. You are required by group law to watch Lion King 2. It is essentially your character's background story.
Oh, that's
Almost
funny.
word for word. Your character's background story is Lion King 2.
It's
I
been
gotta
forever.
think
but-
too now because I've never seen it, and the little music video showed fits. So yeah, but yeah. So unless there's anything else, guys, let's call it here.
Yep.
I'm gonna spend some time with Bridget, make some food, and get ready for work tomorrow.
You have to help me finish my character.
Yeah, I'm happy with that, of course. But y'all have a good night, and can't wait until first session. Things are gonna get crazy. Be ready for some heroic, fucking high action. Dan, familiarize yourself with spellcrafting rules for the spontaneous spellcasting. It's very simple, very straightforward. But just familiarize yourself so there isn't too much downtime when crafting a spell on the fly.
Understood.
And I'll probably with Josh's help, we'll make a quick table for it. That way, it's a quick lookup. Yeah, y'all have a good night. I'll talk to y'all soon. If y'all need me, just message me, and if I'm free, I'll get a hold of y'all.
Okay, talk to you later.
Talk to you guys
Alright,
later.
see ya.
Later.